नगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिर्वोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यः साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै। 19th verse। य एनं वेत्ति हन्तारं यश्चैनं मन्यते हतम् उभौ तौ न विजानीतः नायं हन्ति न हन्यते। So, this is the verse. Let's see the translation first. Ya enam vetti hantaram. Yaha, who enam, atmanam, one who takes this self. Vetti means one who knows. Yaha vetti means one who knows. Enam atmanam, one who knows this atma as what? Hantaram, as a killer. Then, or one who thinks this self as a killer. Cha means end. Yaha enam manyate hatam, the one who takes this atma as killed. Hatam means killed. And manyate means same. Vetti and manyate has the same meaning, thinks. Yaha hatam manyate. One who thinks that atma is killed. Then ubhau tau na vijanitaha. Both of them just do not know. What they do not know? Both of them just do not know the nature of the self. Nayam hanti na hanyate. Actually, this self does not kill, nor is it killed. That's what it means. So the one who thinks this self to be the killer and the one who thinks of it as to be killed as a killed, well, both of them do not know This self does not kill, nor is it killed. So here it wants to say one Atma is not a killer. Atma is one which is not killed. That's what it means. So Atma is not a killer means Atma is not an agent of an action of killing, and Atma is not an object which becomes Atma is an object which gets killed. So both the ways, Atma is not a karta, Atma is not a bhokta. So somebody's action of killing, well, I don't become a victim, I don't become an object of it. So Atma is not a karta bhokta, it wants to say. Atma is not an enjoyer of an action. Atma is not an enjoyer of the result of an action, and Atma is not a agent of an action. So, karta bhokta, the Atma does not have a kartrutvam and bhoktrutvam has been told now here. Well, we'll have to, as I said, this mantra appears, this shloka appears as a mantra in Kathopanishad. Pramanam paramam shrutihi. Manu Bhagavan says this. Pramanam paramam shrutihi. Paramam pramanam shrutihi. Shruti or the Veda is the basis of all the pramanas, all the means of knowledge. See, there are two means of knowledge we have talked about. One is the available to the human being. Through that you know varieties of the things, or which are known will become knowable to you. And the other one which is known only through the words of scriptures, right? That is other pramana. And well, it will never be available for perception to a human being, or not available to other means of knowledge based on perception to a human being. So there are drishta vishaya and adrishta vishaya. Vishaya means an object. There are objects which human being can perceive, or human being can infer, or human being can presume, etc. There are objects in this world, in the universe, well, about the existence of which is known only through the Veda and based on Veda, whatever is there. Like there are Mahabharata and Ramayana, etc. also talks about Swarga and everything. So based on Veda is the basis of all the pramana, Shabda pramana. All is in form of words. And they will just give you the knowledge of dharma, adharma, etc., punya, papa, and devata, and swarga, and atma, and everything. Well, this is not available. What I have just said is not available for a human being any time in his life to know through perception and other means of knowledge available to him. And therefore these two are main types of objects. One is drashta, other is called adrishta. That's all. And so Smriti and Puranas and Ityasa and all this, basically Ityasa means history, Puranas and the Smritis, etc. also have a basis in Shruti or Veda. And Veda is called Shruti because Shruyate eva kevalam natu kenapi kriyate. Nobody has formed, nobody has composed, like we definitely compose some text on certain subject matter. No. Nobody has composed this Veda, basically. There is a compilation done by the Veda, but that's by Veda Vyasa. But Veda, like Mahabharata was created by Veda Vyasa, same way Veda Vyasa has not created the Veda. Shruyate eva kevalam natu kriyate. It is heard from from one generation to the other. And that generation has received from his previous generation, and they have received from previous generation. And then the original teacher is Ishvara. Ishvara alone reveals the Veda. That has been very clearly told in Upanishad. I will tell you that thing. So, Ishvara, while bringing out the manifesting the entire universe from unmanifest, he also brings out the Veda or a Shruti, which becomes unmanifest at the time of Pralaya, and he will manifest along with the creation Veda also, because Veda is basically a manual in the creation, and therefore if he creates something, the manual also should be there. Well, that's how basically. So Smriti or Purana or Ityasa or everything has a basis in Shruti, that is called Veda. And that is what Bhagavan wanted to say. And that is how he wants to say whatever his knowledge he is giving. It has a basis. It is out of his understanding and from his memory he is bringing out. Well, so Bhagavad Gita has a status of a Smriti, but definitely it has a basis in Smriti. He has to tell, then only the Pramanyam or the validity of the Bhagavad Gita would remain, and so he quotes from Upanishad, and that too basically from Kathopanishad. And that is how even in our Kandikas also, every chapter, at the end of every chapter we have a Kandika. Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishadsu. It is told there, right? So Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishadsu. Bhagavad Gita Su, if you know little Sanskrit, it is seventh case and plural in all Bhagavad Gitas. In all Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is one. Why should they use a plural? But thank God it is immediately told Upanishadsu. Upanishadsu. I mean, we look upon Bhagavad Gita as Upanishad. Because the subject matter of the Upanishad is the subject matter of Bhagavad Gita. How can you say? Bhagavan himself quoted from Kathopanishad. So that is how, and therefore Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishadsu, there are, so many Upanishads are there. And in Bhagavad Gita, every chapter is considered as one Upanishad. And so, like every chapter is an Upanishad, and 18 chapters are like 18 Upanishads. And therefore, even though Bhagavad Gita is one, it has been called as a Bhagavad Gita Su. In all the Bhagavad Gita, which are nothing but the Upanishads, and therefore, iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishads. Anyway, so since this Bhagavad Gita has a basis or origin in Shruti only, in Upanishad, and therefore this Bhagavad Gita also is called Upanishad. And that's how we have that verse, you know very well, Sarvopanishado Gavaha Dogdha Gopalanandanaha. So Gopalanandana or Bhagavan has basically Sarvopanishado Gavaha. He has taken, all these Upanishads are the cows, and he has taken out the essence of all the Upanishads, and that essence is nothing but this milk, and the milk he is giving to our Arjuna, who is considered as a calf. So from the Bhagavan is doing one job. He is a Gopalanandana, he is a cowherd boy, and he takes out the milk from all these cows and giving it to the calf called Arjuna. Dugdham Gita Mritam Mahat, etc. It has been told very beautifully there. Anyway, so this is the essence of all the Upanishad, and therefore nothing to worry. You can go ahead in that. Well, all the Puranas, all Upapuranas, all Ityasa Grantha, basically Mahabharata and our Ramayana, and all the Smritis, Yagnavalkya Smriti, Manu Smriti, that Smriti, so many Parashar Smriti, so many Smritis are also there. All has a basis in whatever they describe. Ultimately, it has a basis as essence in Veda, Shruti, and Shruti is a Mula Pramanam that has been told. And so this particular mantra, of course, is in Kathopanishad as a Hanta Chen Manyate Hantum, Hatashen Manyate Hatam, etc. And the other mantra, which is just following this particular verse, that's the 28th verse also, is from Kathopanishad. Now, one person has asked me a very beautiful question. Swamiji, what is the difference between Bhagavad Gita and Veda? He wanted to say that basically Bhagavad Gita also is coming out of the Lord's mouth, right? And that has been told in Gita Dhyanam. You will have that verse, basically that Bhagavad Gita has just come out of the Bhagavan's mouth. And Veda also is basically has come out as a breath of Ishvara. Asya mahato bhutasya nishvasitam etad rigvedo etad yad rigvedaha yajurvedaha samavedaha. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, it has been told very beautifully. Asya mahato bhutasya, of this Paramatma, etad nishvasitam. This is just a breath. I mean, the way our breathing and inhalation, exhalation are there, and our exhalation also is so smooth and just effortless. Like that, this Veda is just a exhalation of the Ishvara. It has just come out of it, the Parmeshwara at the time of creation. As the creation comes out very effortlessly, same way the Vedas also have come out very effortlessly at the time of creation, being a manual of the creation. And therefore, Bhagavan, from this mouth of Bhagavan has all the Gita has also come out, and Veda also has come out as an exhalation. Both are effortless. Then why, what is the difference between two? I mean, his question was, why should Bhagavan quote Upanishad? There is no need. Bhagavad Gita is automatically like Veda. And therefore, there is no need of this pramanyam, validity. Bhagavan should give a validity of whatever he is talking to Arjuna. Bhagavan should give a validity that what I am talking is basically in the Veda. I am not talking from my own imagination. And so his question was really good. Then basically we have to understand, in Avatara he has come as a human being. And human beings' knowledge. And so if he has come as a human being and he does all the chores as of a human being, like many chores, like as of a human being, while he is giving a knowledge also, person may think that his knowledge must have been obstructed by human intellect. Because human intellect has three doshas. Whatever knowledge a human being possesses has 3 or 4 doshas, which I will talk to you. And therefore, even Bhagavan also as a human being talks, then his knowledge also is fraught with these 4 obstacles, 4 kind of mistakes. It is obstructed by that. So what is that? The first dosha, is human intellect is sure to commit mistakes. Sure to commit mistakes. I mean, sure to commit mistakes in as much as he definitely. So sometimes his knowledge is reliable, sometimes not reliable. How will you say, Swamiji? Can you give example? Yeah, there are, like if you eat some sweet dish, right? If you eat some sweet dish and then immediately drink tea or coffee which has a lot of sugar, still your, the birds, taste buds or the sense organ of taste will give you wrong data. You feel this tea or coffee has no sugar. If you take first a sweet dish and then take a tea or coffee, even though it has a sugar, still your sense organs reveals a wrong data. So sense organs sometime it can, sometime they are reliable, sometime not reliable. It happens. So human beings' intellect gathers a knowledge which is sure to commit mistake. That's the first thing. And otherwise also. Let's see what happens. Another example I will give you. Like, the cashier in the bank, he counts money. And even though he has a practice of counting, but still, when it's a bundle of 100 notes, right, and he is counting, and it may happen that instead of 100, he may count 99. Or sometime he may count even 101. And that's how people always, cashier used to do. They will not count once, they will count again. Sometimes they give it to other also, that you count. I feel it is 99 or 101. No, then he counts. He said, no, it is just 100. So this is what happening. Whatever human intellect perceives, the knowledge of a human being is fraught with the first dosha, since from the data generated from senses sometimes are reliable, sometimes not reliable. Second dosha is human intellect is invariably illusioned. Sometimes just illusion. First thing is when sometime reliable, sometime not reliable. The second thing is illusion occurs, and there were so many examples we have. Our Vedanta is full of examples. Like instead of a rope, you see a snake. Right? Instead of a rope, you see a snake, etc. There are many examples anyway. So third thing is, Swamiji, what is the difference between the first and second? In first obstacle in which the mistake happens knowingly. Like as I told you, you have taken a sweet dish, you have taken rasgulla, and then you drink a tea, you have added sugar, still mistake happens. You feel that there is no sugar in that, right? So mistake happens knowingly also. You know there are 100 notes, but still you count 101. It happens. So second thing, and then second dosha is mistake happens unknowingly. You take the rope as a snake unknowingly, not knowingly, definitely not. Third thing, if a person has an agenda, this is called cheat. C-H-E-A-T, cheat. If person has some agenda and he wants the things to turn around or turn out in his way, well, he prop up some of the information to he prop up some information and hide certain information. So this also is a dosha of a human intellect. And so sometimes he highlights some certain aspect he purposely doesn't highlight. That's called cheat. So whatever he gives the knowledge, well, it has a element of cheat in that. Cheating. Fourth, senses generate knowledge which is always limited. Any sense which is generated knowledge is always limited. Like eyes is revealing the color and form, but what is in the front? What is on the back side of me right now, eyes are not able to reveal. What is on the side of right side, there are certain forms and colors, well, it is not able to reveal. On left hand side, no, not able to reveal. So only, they are called, that is why they are called windows. Windows of this palace. Ekadasha puradvaram ajasya vakrachetasaha, Kathopanishad says. Ekadasha puram dvaram. So there are windows and doors. There are certain doors and there are windows. And through window, whenever you see, you will see the limited thing only. Right? And therefore, this will give you the knowledge. Senses will give you knowledge. Definitely, it is limited. But Swamiji, there is not just perception. You talked about 6 pramanas yesterday. Yeah, but all have a basis in perception. And therefore, perception itself is fraught with these doshas. And therefore, definitely inference and everything will be wrong. So, basically, human knowledge is fallible, we can say. And therefore, Bhagavan has come as a human, he has come in a human form, and he is giving a knowledge to Arjuna. Maybe somebody felt that it is fraught with the limitations of a human being, human intellect. Therefore, Bhagavan wants to give that his knowledge has a validity in terms of it has a basis in Upanishad or Veda. That's the reason. Anyway, now let's go to the verse here. Hanta chen manyate hantum, that is Kathopanishad mantra. And let us think of, now here it has been told Atma is not a karta and bhokta. Here action, only one action has been taken, and action of killing, because that is the context here, because they are standing in the war. But Swamiji, why, somebody asked, why Yamaraja is talking about killing action? Because Hanta chen manyate hantum. Well, Yamaraja also is a lord of death, and therefore he has a full knowledge regarding death, etc. And therefore he knows who kills and who doesn't get killed, and who etc. etc. Everything he knows, and therefore regarding death he knows everything. I mean, the phenomenon of death, who is a killer, who is an object of killing, etc. He knows who is a karta of a killing, who is an object of, bhokta of a killing. He knows everything, and therefore Yamaraja has talked to Nachiketa taking that action. And well, here also there is a context of war only, and so it is fitting very well here, this particular action. When you say karta and bhokta, means it may be any action, and then agent of action could be for any action, and bhokta also of any karma phala. But then definitely here, just for example, these two things, the one particular action has been taken. Anyway, now let's think, if Bhagavan is telling Atma is not Karta and Bhokta, I will use now Karta and Bhokta. I will not all the time use this agent of action and experience of fruits of action and result of an action. I will just use Karta Bhokta, you know very well. So let's see who is a Karta and who is Bhokta. Bhagavan is denying Atma is not Karta and Atma is not Bhokta. I feel that this body is a Karta and body alone is a Bhokta. Because suppose some kind of wrong action has been done by the body, then the sufferer also is a body. So yaha karta saeva bhokta. One who does wrong will bear the fruits of action, which is punishment. He only has to bear, not someone else. That's for sure. If I do wrong action, well, I should bear the fruit of that action, not someone else. That's for sure. So body does. I feel body is a karta and bhokta. Body does something wrong, and therefore body gets punishment. And therefore body is a karta, body is a bhokta. Well, then the question is, we are analyzing who is a karta, who is bhokta. Then the question is, suppose with my hand, I have beaten somebody, suppose, with my hand. And then that person also got angry and he has slapped me on a face. Now, actually what should be done? If my hands have beaten him, he should punish my hands, right? Because hands are beating, hand is a karta, then the punishment should go to the hand. But, punishment goes to the face. So, then somebody said, Swamiji, this is common sense. You don't have really speaking. We have learned today. That anyway, so this thing is, because it's a part of one body. So if one part has done something, the other part may get a punishment. If one part does a wrong thing, the other part may get a punishment. What is that? Ultimately, it is one body. You should understand this much. Okay. So then let's go ahead. Now one body has done wrong action, suppose, in this life. Then, the punishment has not been given, suppose, he has done a lot of wrong action in this life, done by this body, correct. But then, before he gets punishment of this, the body dies. Now, who will get punishment? The karta of this wrong action, called the body, has died. And it has turned to ashes now. And the person has got a new body. We believe, let's take it that the person has got a new body. Then new body should not get punishment, definitely. So, then in that case, how will you take the body as a karta? Because otherwise the vyavastha will not be there. The arrangement, the law will not be there. In as much as the body which has done wrong action dies without getting the fruits of action called punishment, etc. Then, and the new body suppose gets a punishment. In the new life, Swamiji, if you do something wrong, you will get the fruit even in the next life. But the body has done an action, then this body should suffer. This body should get punishment. But before he gets punishment, either by Ishvara, either by the local courts, whatever. So the person dies. That shows perhaps body is not a karta. Body is not a karta. Because otherwise, karta body is one which has turned to ashes, and bhokta body which he has got a new body, that becomes a bhokta. Well, it is different from this karta. And our rule is, one who does wrong, or one who performs an action, one who does action, enjoys the result of an action. Yaha eva karta, sa eva bhokta. That's our rule. And that is what it fits well into the system. So, definitely, Body is not a karta, bhokta. Not a bhokta also, because yaha karta sa eva bhokta. If body is not a karta, body is not even a bhokta. Okay. Then only thing is what? Only thing is Atma. Atma is a karta and Atma is a bhokta. This is how it goes. But Bhagavan says Atma is not a karta. Ubhautau na vijanitaha nayam hanti na hanyate. Ayam na hanti, ayam Atma na hanti. This Atma do not kill anybody. But if Atma is not a karta of action, na hanyate. Atma, ayam na hanyate. Atma is not killed also. Atma is not an even bhokta also. So, if you consider Atma as a karta and bhokta, then definitely the sukha, dukkha, etc. also, if good action, then the sukha, and if there are bad actions, definitely there is a dukkham. Well, that also Atma only becomes a sukhi and dukkhi, because Atma has done something wrong. So Atma gets a punishment and he becomes dukkhi. Atma has done some good actions. Well, then Atma should get the good results of it. And therefore Atma becomes sukhi. If Atma becomes sukhi, dukkhi, then definitely Atma undergoes change. Now sukhi, now dukkhi. Now dukkhi, now dukkhi, now dukkhi, now sukhi. Now dukkhi, now dukkhi. As Puja Swamiji says, dukkham, 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 sukham. Dukkham, sukham is alright. But Atma is karta bhokta, and therefore Atma is definitely has done something wrong or good, some whatever. Then definitely Atma will get the fruits. Right? Atma has to experience sukha and dukkha, and then Atma becomes sukhi and dukkhi. If Atma becomes sukhi and dukkhi, it undergoes change. Anything undergoes change is perishable. This is our law. This is going to come in next verse. Whatever undergoes a change will ultimately perish also. Because perishing also is one kind of a change. It's just another state. There is no death. As such, I have told you already. Nash adarshane. Nash dhatu has a meaning that it is not available in that particular form. That's all. It has gone to different form. So definitely Atma becomes perishable. Anityaha. And it just goes, if you say Atma is Anityaha, it goes against what Bhagavan has taught before. Bhagavan has already told Atma is Nityaha. Nityasyokta sharirinaha. We have just seen Antavanta ime dehaha Nityasyokta sharirinaha. These bodies are antavanta, bodies are anitya, it will die. They are perishable. But the one which is available in the body, that conscious being, nityasya, Bhagavan has told just in the previous verse, it is nityaha. And therefore, Atma undergoes, Atma gets the fruits of an action, becomes sukhi, dukkhi, etc. And that too, there are also degree. Sometimes dukkham will be too much, sometimes little. Because the prarabdha are of three kinds. And so any prarabdha he has to face. There is one prarabdha is called they call it as a what? Manda prarabdha. And then other is a madhyama prarabdha. And the third one is called tivra prarabdha. And we experience that kind of a thing. We experience. Manda prarabdha means it is giving you some pain, suppose. In terms of pain, let us take. In terms of even happiness also you can take, but I am taking in terms of pain. Like you get a fever. You get a fever. And you take a tablet and it goes. So you have suffered, of course. But time being. That's all. And sometimes it happens that we take a tablet and fever goes. It goes. That's all. It goes. It doesn't come back. Right? It's happening. So it's called Manda Prarabdha, which you can overcome with a small purushartha. Then second one is a Madhyama Prarabdha, which you can overcome with little more efforts, more purushartha. Little more. Yeah. So sometime you get, like, I should not say you, but let me tell I. Suppose I because you see, if you think that Swami has just fallen and got a fracture. Well, now not immediately I will be able to, I will have to undergo pain for some time, right? Physiotherapy also is a big painful is a painful thing. In before also all this, till you take this medicines, painkillers, you feel everything is all right. As the effect of painkiller decreases, you feel lot of pain at the site of that fracture. I mean, you can put efforts. You can underwent a surgery and you take medicines and you do physiotherapy ultimately, but you can overcome the prarabdha. So this is called madhyama prarabdha. Well, you can overcome by some purushartha for a little for a little longer length of time. And third one, tivra prarabdha. Nothing could happen. Nothing. Any amount of purushartha you do, any amount of effort you do, you have to undergo the pain throughout. All your efforts have no effect on that. No effect. That everyone suffers from this. So person sometimes, becomes he gets a terminal cancer. Then they do chemotherapy and they do surgery and they do everything. And they take the Sloan Kettering. And I mean, it happens. I have seen people from India, they come here in New York or somewhere, I think it's a very big institute. And they come here for cancer where the base treatments are there. And they spend a lot of money and put a lot of efforts. Everything they do. Still, person cannot be survived. That's what is happening. So this is called tivra prarabdha, where purushartha just can't touch. You have to undergo that. Undergo the pain or maybe pleasure, whatever it may be. I'm not giving example of pleasure because then you won't put efforts when you get pleasure, etc. to remove that. Therefore, let's talk about in terms of pain. Anyway, so whatever I'm saying is, basically, the Sharira is not a Karta Bhokta. Atma is also not a Karta Bhokta, because as I told you, if Atma is a Bhokta, sometime he gets there is a degree of pain, as I told you right now, as per the Prarabdha, and so there will be a variation. There will be a Vikara. There will be a change. And then that same Atma being a Bhokta, he undergoes, he gets certain pleasure also, he enjoys also, then he becomes Sukhi, etc. All this. So it keeps changing. Anything changing is perishable and is called Anityaha. Atma Anityaha, that kind of a teaching we have not received till today. And therefore, being Atma Nitya, Atma cannot be Karta and Bhokta. Sharira also cannot be Karta and Bhokta. Now what else? What we are analyzing who is Karta Bhokta. Now let's go ahead. Senses. Only few things are left now. Senses can be Karta Bhokta. Prana can be Karta Bhokta. Vital air which we have. And mind is a Karta Bhokta. Three things are left out. So senses are just instruments basically. Senses are instrument for the action. Senses themselves are not Karta. Senses are called Karanas. Karanani we call them. Karta and Karana are always different. The instruments and the agent of actions are always different. Agent utilizes the instruments to perform an action. And therefore, Indriyas are basically, the sense organs are basically just instruments. So, definitely not Karta. Prana also is not a Karta because Prana helps for performing an action. Prana gives the energy to perform an action. Therefore, Prana also is just is a helper in performing an action. It is not a Karta. Therefore, this is called Parishesha Nyaya. So, Parishesha Nyaya means what? Now, leftover becomes Karta Bhokta. What is leftover is Antakaranam. Mind is a Karta Bhokta. Subtle body is a Karta Bhokta. This subtle body is also having a name, Linga Shariram. We call Sukshma Shariram as well as Linga Shariram also. That is a Karta and Bhokta. We'll have to derive those things also. Anyway, So, Antakaranam or intellect basically, yeah, is a karta, and that only gets a sukha, dukha, etc. also is a bhokta. Now, this body is a instrument for performing an action, because in this kartrutvam and bhoktrutvam we have negated, we have eliminated two things first, body and atma. So then somebody asked if they have no role. Body has no role in this kartrutvam and bhoktrutvam. Atma also has no role because they are a very essential thing. And you are not taking into account either of them in this kartrutvam and bhoktrutvam. Well, we say, well, they have a role to play. Body is also a instrument in performing an action. Other, like, suppose antakaranam is a karta, definitely. But ultimately you will see the action at the level of what? At the level of physical body. And therefore physical body is definitely an instrument for performing an action. And otherwise, if body is not there, where is the action? Action will not be there at all. And even though kartrutvam is an antakaranam, yet to perform an action, it will, because the kartrutvam manifest in the body in terms of karma, various actions. Therefore, body is essential, and Atma also is essential because Atma provides an existence to everything. Atma provides existence to the mind, to the senses, to the prana, and to the body, everything. Atma provides existence. Atma provides, through Atma all they shine, through Atma all they exist, and therefore, well, it's a big role. If a mind can perform an action, well, that mind should have existence first. So existing mind performs an action, existing body performs an action, existing senses perform an action, etc. And therefore Atma's role also is very, very big. All this exist, all these different instruments and other things which are all accessories, let's say, all accessories exist on account of Atma. Because of all accessories, definitely, in that, of course, mind is a karta and other things help the mind to perform an action. Well, all things are accessories, but basically, Atma provides an existence, and through Atma all they shine. So, body and this Atma, definitely they themselves are not directly karta bhokta, but they have a role in performing actions as well as receiving a fruit of action. We'll see that. Anyway, but if they have a role to play, but don't take them as a karta. Neither the body, neither the Atma, don't take it as a karta. Don't take them as a karta. Then can you give an example? Yeah, there is an example for that. Like somebody is two people traveling in a car and going with a bad purpose. I mean, they want to kill somebody, and so they are traveling in a car, going by car, and the person to whom they want to kill is coming in front, and one of the person shoots, and the person gets killed. Now, afterwards they are caught, and our basically our judge wants to give punishment. Then that fellow says, well, if the car would not have been there, the shooting would not have taken place, and therefore the punishment should be, or at least half of the punishment should go to the car, and half of the punishment as a shooter should be given to me. Well, judge said, no, you only are responsible. What is instrument in performing your action called shooting, that instrument is not considered as a karta, and therefore the punishment also cannot go to that car. Punishment goes only to yourself. You are a karta and you will be bhokta, you will get punishment, not the car. Car should not be behind the bars. You should be behind the bars. This is one thing. So body is like this, like the car, is an instrument for performing a particular action. Second thing, Atma also cannot, even though Atma has a big role to play, still Atma is not Karta. For that, the example is sunlight. Sun, as such sun. In light of the sun, there are people who are performing good actions. There are people who are performing bad actions. But we never make responsible sunlight or a sun for good actions or bad actions. Even though good actions are performed like charity, etc., performed during a day, in presence of sunlight, still we never say that some of the punyam will go to sunlight. No. Because definitely this person would not have done this action, good, even though noble action, he is waiting for a day to come. Not that he wants to do in the night. So in daylight he is doing. Still, no punya will go to Surya. Right? It shows Surya is not a karta. Even though it is helpful in performing in a good action, but it is not a karta. The person who has done a noble action, the punya will go to it. And some bad action like killing somebody, etc., also happens during day. Daylight killing, they call. So it happens during day. No papa will go to this Surya also. Atma is like sun. In presence of that sun, as all the actions happen, good or bad, but nothing, the sun is not affected by it. Same way, Atma is also not affected by good or bad actions because he is not a karta and therefore he is not a bhokta also. So this is how, with these two examples of car and this sun, we can explain this thing at all. We can explain these things, that Atma and body are not basically karta and bhokta. And also the senses, etc., also are helpful in performing action. The prana, etc., provides energy for performing action, etc. And basically all these are accessories. Only antakaranam, which is left over in this assembly, there the kartrutvam and bhoktrutvam is lying. So this is how we say this. Now here that has been very beautifully explained in this one verse. Kartrucha bhoktrucha lingam na khalu chitihi tatra buddhyate adhyasat bhoktrutve heturiti prakasharupatvatah bhagavan. Somebody asked this question, Swamiji, karta bhokta cannot be mind. It's basically inert thing. Because you all the time, you have explained me us that they are non-I and they are made up of 5 elements and they are inert, and we have found this karta and bhokta as a conscious entity. How can you say mind is karta bhokta? That's the question. Then we say karta and bhokta is basically mind alone. But this mind is a one in which the Atma manifests, and therefore Atma gets reflected, the consciousness gets reflected in the mind, and the mind becomes a conscious mind. That conscious mind basically does all the actions, but it looks as though the mind which has a kartrutvam and bhoktrutvam, so because of self-error, self-confusion, it looks as though Atma is a karta and bhokta. Kartrutvam, bhoktrutvam belongs to the mind only, but because of this self-error, self-confusion, and because they are basically mithya things, now I can tell that they are non-separate from the Atma, and since they are non-separate from Atma, and there is a self-ignorance, so I take the mind as the self. Atma is equated with the mind. Atma is, and therefore whatever attributes are there of the mind are taken the attributes of the self, and therefore Atma looks as though a karta and bhokta. Basically Atma is not a karta bhokta, and this mind etc. is non-separate from the Atma, And mind has a nature. Mind is made up of a finer material, and therefore it reflects the all-pervading consciousness, and they become as though a conscious entity. Because of this kind of a thing, well, this conscious mind is a karta and bhokta, and therefore karta bhokta looks conscious being. That's very correct, but it is not the atma is a karta bhokta. Basically, mind alone is a karta bhokta. And now we will have to explain this further. There is one question here. The question is, when a person does a particular action, then he is called a karta, or before that he is a karta. We are trying to prove that mind alone is a karta bhokta. For that, this analysis is there. Like a person, I call a particular person as a thief. When can I call a person a thief? Swamiji, if he does stealing, then he can be called thief. Otherwise, he cannot be called thief. Well, we'll have to think over. Because if before stealing, a person is thief or not, if I ask you a question, most of the people say, if he does stealing, he is called a thief, otherwise not. But basically, before he does this, the action of stealing, he is called thief. That's how it is. That's how it is. Because the action is generated, manifested at the body level later. It already gets generated before. How? See, what happens is, let's say the particular person goes for stealing in the night. He has not reached to a particular house. He is on the way. Now, when he is on the way, as per your definition, if he does not do an action of stealing, he cannot be called thief. Well, then this person has not done yet the stealing. Then he should not be called thief. Then the person who is going for stealing is a noble person, or a thief is going to steal? Please tell me. A noble person is going to steal, or the person who is already a thief is going to for stealing? In fact, police people, police especially, before they reach to particular house, sometime in night they catch hold of these people and put them behind the bars, because otherwise, if he is not a thief, they cannot put him behind the bars. Not a noble person is going for a stealing. Swamiji, a thief goes for stealing. Now you are saying. A thief goes for stealing. So thief goes for stealing, but he has not stolen anything. No, but still he is a thief. How can you say he is a thief? Oh, the action of stealing has already taken place. That's how I say. It's already there. In that kartrutvam is lying somewhere. Already lying somewhere. Let's say where it is. See, first thing is, a particular person has a knowledge of particular house of stealing. Right? He has a knowledge that in this house there is a lot of wealth. Where also it is lying, that also he knows. From which door he has to enter, he knows. How to break open the cupboards, knows. So he has a knowledge and skills of stealing. He has not done yet stealing. Please understand this. But he has a knowledge and action of skills of this stealing. He has that jnanam. It's called chaurya jnanam. Chori, it is in Hindi, they call it as a chori. Chori means a stealing. So chaurya jnanam, a knowledge pertaining to stealing. That's first thing. Then, once he gains this knowledge and he has a skill, there is a desire to steal. Right? Second thing, desire. And third thing is, he decides to steal. Three things are there. All the three things which makes him a thief are lying where? Are lying where? Lying in the mind, right? So basically, action of stealing takes place at the level of a physical body, going there and doing all this job, cutting asunder everything, and all this, break open the cupboards and everything. Well, it has manifested at the body level, correct? But before that, where it was? It was in the form of this in the mind. So there was a knowledge and skill of the stealing plus desire of stealing and then decide to steal. All this basically. So any action before it manifests at the level of a body is already taking place in the mind, and therefore mind is a karta. Mind is a karta. And that's how they call in Sanskritam as a jnanam plus ichha plus kriti. Kriti means a resolve, a decision to steal, etc. So jnanam, ichha and kriti all exist in the sukshma sharira or in the mind. And it just then the action of stealing just manifests at the level of physical body. And therefore, basically, our subtle body or the mind alone is a is a karta. There is something, but don't give this kind of examples. Give some good example. There are other examples also. A architect, before he builds a particular house, etc., he prepares a design in the mind with his knowledge, and from there he puts a design on the paper, and then then that particular design he again takes it to the particular building, and therefore we call architect that he has designed this thing. That is, he is a karta of this. Well, but before that, everything starts in the mind, right? Whole design starts here, and therefore it is just manifested at the level of physical body later, but everything starts where? In the mind. His knowledge, skill regarding the design is there. Then there is a desire to design the building is there, and then there is a decision to design a particular building also is there. And well, everything gets initiated. Any action is initiated, generated at the level of mind. Mind is a seed, and the action which manifests at the body level is called sprout. Actually, the sprout takes place from the seed. And so basically karta is a mind only, or intellect. Karta is mind or intellect. Well, and few more things we will have to tell in that. We'll do it tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.